this will affect some Kenyans who are there already. There's also the idea of stopping the policy on citizenship right by birth, that you cannot, a baby does not simply become an American citizen because they're born there if their parents are not documented. That could affect a lot of Kenyans. I'm sure there are quite a number of Kenyans who are in America probably without proper documentation. Well,
it will affect from now. You see, the good thing with the law, it's not retrogressive. So as he brings in this policy, he will make sure all children in America now must move, and they're Americans. So he cannot change that. But now let's say any child being born will, but some of these things, you know, you have to take them to Parliament. So Parliament will decide some of these things. Okay. In terms of, but even in Kenya, do we allow? I doubt. We don't.
By birth, probably, yes, by birth we do allow.
No, we don't.
Okay, we'll have to confirm that.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, we don't.
Yes.
Like say, for example, if you are a Rwandese and you've lived in Kenya, you give birth, we don't. You have to go through a process. All right. So what they should do is, I think what he's trying to say is, well, you have to go through a process before you come. It's just for his, you know, this is something Trump had, and if he had stayed for 10 years, he would have arrived to the same. So he has just come back with what he wanted to do before Biden came in. Okay. And many people expected that. The only thing we wanted, and the world wanted, is America to come back in order. Because they were taking, I mean, you can't do a proposal and tell me there must be inclusivity. And this inclusivity you're telling me is an inclusivity, I'm wondering,
do you feel like that probably is one of the more positive orders that the president has come with? The issue of gender and the recognition of only two genders, male and female.
Exactly.
That probably for the African society and our culture, probably that is...
Well, for us in Africa, the rest he can do it for the US, as we've been surviving even without him. We are saying that is the order we wanted. Why? So you go into, you walk into Europe and you are told the toilets are the same. And you're like, what? And you can't do anything in France. You can't do anything in Sweden. You just have to go. You're like, what? When did this happen? And then I remember going to the US in March. And we were having a conversation with their senators. And I stood and I told them, look, it cannot be an African woman, not just in Kenya, but an African woman in America who has been fighting for his rights, her rights, and trying to sit just on a decision making. And today you're telling me a man will walk in and you'll tell me is a woman now, he can take over this and sit on the table on behalf of women. A man who doesn't even know what is menstrual will discuss about pads. I told them, you are sick. And then they, most of them looked at me and say, hey, Beatrice. I said, yeah. Right. And then I told them, me as an African woman, I am still struggling in Kenya just to get 2/3. This culture must be your culture. It's not even law. This is a culture you have decided. It is in your thing. You do not need to throw us on the face. And at that time, you are wondering, so if I walk into a sauna, so I sit with a man. I said, no. This one we have to pray about. That's the day I was so angry, and I told them, and we are going to pray Trump to come back. Yes.
Uganda, they're very happy.
Oh yes, Bahati, you know they were denied. They were, in fact, Uganda, America had denied no Ugandan to be going to the US. Because of that, because of the Bahati's law, and I remember also going for a CPA meeting with Bahati in Ghana, and we remained only 2 countries that refused completely, and they couldn't believe. They were looking at us as if we are not normal. We are like, not in Kenya, and Uganda was not in Uganda. So yeah, but you see in South Africa, they are liberals. No, it can't work. Ask yourself, imagine in Limuri. At now, when you're at the age of 70, you are in diapers, 60, 70, diapers, just because you changed how God decided this is where your manhood will go, and you have decided it goes to another area that has no business at all. It does not make sense.
Interesting. Allow me to introduce Geoffrey.